Jackson Cole had been driving trucks for over 2 decades. Route 66 was familiar to him, but on that night the long stretch of road seemed more desolate than ever. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting an eerie orange glow on the barren landscape. The radio played softly in the background, but it did little to ease the sense of unease that settled over him. As night fell, Jackson noticed a figure on the side of the road, hitchhiking. Against his better judgment, he pulled over. The man was tall, with a gaunt face and hollow eyes that seemed to bore into Jackson's soul. He climbed into the cab without a word, and Jackson felt a chill run down his spine. "Where you headed?" Jackson asked, trying to break the silence. "Just down the road," the man replied, his voice barely above a whisper. The stranger's presence made Jackson increasingly uncomfortable. The man's silence was unnerving, and every now and then, Jackson would catch him staring with those hollow eyes. They drove in silence for miles, the only sounds being the hum of the engine and the occasional gust of wind rattling the truck. Jackson tried to make small talk, but the stranger's responses were brief and unsettling. He spoke of lost souls and haunted places, his words sending shivers down Jackson's spine. Hours passed, and Jackson felt an overwhelming urge to get rid of the hitchhiker. He spotted an old abandoned gas station up ahead and decided to pull over. The station was dilapidated, with broken windows and rusting pumps, standing as a ghostly relic of the past. "End of the line for you," Jackson said, trying to sound casual. The stranger nodded and stepped out of the cab without a word. As he walked away, Jackson felt a weight lift off his shoulders, but the unease lingered. Back on the road, Jackson turned the radio back on, hoping to find some music to calm his nerves. Instead, he was met with static and a faint, eerie transmission. A voice, barely audible, whispered, "You shouldn't have stopped." Jackson's blood ran cold. He fiddled with the dial trying to clear the signal, but the voice only grew louder and more distorted. It repeated the same phrase over and over, sending chills down his spine. Just as Jackson was about to turn off the radio, he saw something in the middle of the road. He slammed on the brakes, and the truck screeched to a halt. Standing in the headlights was the hitchhiker, his hollow eyes glowing with an unnatural light. Jackson's heart pounded in his chest. He watched in horror as the hitchhiker slowly walked towards the truck, passing through the hood as if he were made of mist. The cab filled with an icy cold, and Jackson could see his breath in the air. The ghostly figure of the hitchhiker leaned in close, and Jackson could feel the icy breath on his neck. "You shouldn't have stopped," the apparition whispered, its voice echoing in Jackson's mind. The hitchhiker vanished as suddenly as he had appeared, leaving Jackson gasping for air. Shaken, Jackson checked his mirrors and surroundings, but the road was empty. He felt an overwhelming sense of dread, realizing he had encountered something beyond comprehension. He needed to get off Route 66 as soon as possible. Determined to leave Route 66 behind, Jackson drove through the night, the haunting experience replaying in his mind. The road seemed endless, and every shadow appeared to move with sinister intent. He could still feel the icy chill of the hitchhiker's presence. As dawn approached, Jackson finally saw the sign for the interstate. Relief washed over him as he merged onto the busy highway, the morning sun breaking through the darkness. The haunting of Route 66 was behind him, but the memory of that night would stay with him forever.
Thank you for watching Midnight Knocks. If you enjoyed our horror stories, please give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more spine-chilling tales. Don't forget to check out our other videos for more eerie adventures. Until next time, stay spooky.